Hi, this is Elaine from Parties and Patterns, and today we are going to be talking about machine quilting. Have you ever been intimidated by machine quilting and thought you just couldn't do it? Well, it's a lot easier than you think it is. Number one, you don't need a fancy sewing machine. I have taught all of my daughters how to sew, how to machine quilt on their basic sewing machines. But what you do need is a quilter's foot. Now, quilter's foot is basically going to look like this. Every machine is a little bit different, but it's going to have a circle with a hole in the middle of it. Your traditional foot is what guides and controls your fabric and your stitch. With the quilting stitch, you are the one that is in control. And I just love this. This is so much fun. You can go forward and backward, sideways, you can do loops. Now the faster you go, the smaller your stitch. The slower you go, the larger your stitch. So you need to be careful of trying to keep the same speed when you're sewing. When I start my sewing projects or my quilting projects, I like to iron the top and the bottom with heavy starch. And I buy liquid starch at the grocery store and I mix my own. The reason that you iron with heavy starch is it is easier for your foot and your needle to glide across your fabric, and it just is a lot easier to machine stitch. And then you're going to want to either use quilting adhesive or you're going to pin your 3 layers together. I prefer just to pin my layers together because it's a lot faster and I'm usually in a hurry. We're going to do a stippling stitch today. A stippling stitch is perfect for beginners because it's your own pattern. You don't need to be copying or following anybody else's pattern. But before we do that, anytime I start a quilt, you want to pull up that bottom thread so that both of your threads are on the top piece of your fabric. Now, stipple stitch, think of a great big huge puzzle. You are drawing this puzzle with your sewing machine. And a stipple stitch is basically just half circles going in and out of each other randomly. And you can just have a lot of fun with this stitch. It's really easy and fun to do. And just continue across your whole piece of your whole project. And when you're done, it's going to look like this. It's going to look like stippling on the front and stippling on the back. And remember those 2 threads that were at the top of your fabric that we pulled through? Well, you're going to thread a needle and you're going to bring those threads and you're going to pull them right between your quilt. So they're hidden in between your quilt. And you can't even tell where you started. And you're going to do the same with where you stopped. You're going to bring up both threads to the top of your fabric. You're going to thread your needle and you're going to hide them in your fabric. I hope you've enjoyed learning how to stipple stitch. Please join us for machine quilting part 2.